Greetings from Indianapolis.
We're home.
Yay.
Hey, this is Jen, the head broad in charge at the Brassy Broadcasting Company, with my lovely co-host, Beth Kindig.
Hello, everyone.
That's all you've got is hello, everyone?
I'm so afraid to even get close to the mic that I don't even know that I'm going to say much. Because if you recall the last time, I had control of the mic, and it wasn't a good thing.
Oh, I thought it was a great thing. And I just have to give you a Brassy Broad nod, because I think that you have become a bit of a podcasting celebrity over the course of these last 4 podcasts that we've recorded.
I think celebrity is a strong word, but I thank you. And I would doff my cap, but I think I've overused that one.
Okay. Are you getting onto a new one? Oh my God. Now I've made you sweat because
oh my God.
We had to turn in our Dodge Grand Caravan minivan / recording studio when we left West Yellowstone on Saturday. It was sad, but it was time to send the minivan home. So now, just to keep with the same vibe that we had, we're sitting in our garage in Beth's car, using that as our recording studio. And she is sweating and wiping her face and dabbing ever so gently and ladylike.
Because you won't let me turn the air on, because it's going to mess up some kind of, sound and acoustics and whatnot. And it's a very humid day here in Indianapolis. I mean, we went from freezing our pachangas off, and now we're back to, shorts and T-shirts and me dabbing myself very ladylike as I sweat all my makeup off.
I appreciate you taking the time to record this in your hot car.
It's very warm.
Okay, so we just wanted to do a short, quick recap of the drive home, because honestly, there wasn't much to say about the drive home. It was flat.
Oh, I think there's plenty to say about the drive home. Let's talk about the wind and a 30-foot RV and how your dad and I both had to fight that mightily, I might add. And it wasn't so flat when we first started out, because we were going through Utah and then a little bit more through Wyoming, and it was a little hilly and windy. Then we just got to the plains where it was just flat out, pardon the pun, windy.
Tell me more.
Well, if you could see my hands moving like they are, it's like back and forth, and a semi would go by and you'd have to, brace yourself for that. But the wind, there were some pretty good gusts. It was a little dicey.
I'm glad I was in the back.
Yeah, you were a lot of help.
There's a reason that I'm not allowed to drive the RV.
Tell us the reason, Jennifer.
There are probably multiple reasons, and we don't have that long on the podcast. Let's just say I don't drive the RV, and the world is a safer place because of that.
Agreed.
Okay. Oh, one of the things I do want to talk about, though, is the drop-off of our beloved Dodge Caravan minivan recording studio.
/safe place.
Yes, /safe place. We picked it up when we flew into Missoula, and we knew that we would not be flying out of Missoula, but we needed a place to return it that would be somewhere along our route to Ogden, Utah. Turns out there's an Enterprise rental spot at the Idaho Falls Airport, and it was super easy to drop off the minivan, get that wrapped up, and then my mom and dad just swung by in the RV, picked us up, and whisked us away to Utah and the road home.
Yes, I think we need to give a Brassy Broad nod to the Enterprise folks at the Idaho Falls Airport. It was a small regional airport, but great customer service, and they did a fine job. Now, just as a side note here, from a cost standpoint, Enterprise will charge you additional dollars to drop it off at a place other than where you picked it up. So for this small sum of $94, we got to drop it off en route, as you would say.
I think that was $94 well spent.
I would agree.
But then we had the issue when we had our first night of no car. Oh my gosh. So the meter reader guy just pulled up, and he's probably wondering, what the hell are these two women doing sitting in their car talking into a
Oh.
microphone.
I don't know why I'm so embarrassed right now.
Oh, this is the best.
Oh, and he gave a friendly wave. Hello there, Mr. Meat. He's cute.
He is cute. He probably thinks we are just nuts.
We are nuts, and we're big nerds. And oh my god, I'm sweating even more. Jeez.
Okay, so back to
Yeah.
life without a car in an RV, which can
Yeah.
be a little bit challenging. But the gentleman at the RV park was so lovely because he happened to have a Chinese delivery menu.
Yes, that was the night we stayed in Ogden, and I was hoping to get a glimpse of Donnie and Marie. Never happened, but you're right. The guy at the RV park did give us the Chinese menu. It was $55 for 4 of us, and then they screwed up the order, so we had Chinese for 2 days, which turned out being okay, but that was odd, don't you think?
Yes, but I don't think I have found any food to be cheap. Like, I remember going to Taco Bell. Like, Taco Bell used to be cheap.
True.
Taco Bell is no longer cheap.
There's nothing cheap.
Let's talk about the long road home. It was a beautiful drive on I-80 through Wyoming. Lots of antelope in the fields. And then we spent the night in Cheyenne. Next time, we will budget time in the schedule to hang out in Cheyenne and do a little bit of exploring so we can share that on the next Brassy Roadcast. Oh, I know what we need to talk about. Since it's October and Halloween, let's talk about the spooky RV place we stayed in Iowa.
Oh, it was the bathrooms there were so creepy. I took a picture of it. It was a fairgrounds, like a county fairgrounds. So they had like 3 showers and 1 bathroom stall. But, normally at an RV park, you have security. You have a little code that you have to enter into a keypad to get into the restrooms, which I think is a phenomenal idea. Anybody and their brother could walk in to these restrooms, never locked, always open. As a matter of fact, if you recall, the next morning when we went to go to the bathroom, there was a bare naked lady standing there, and I think I was more embarrassed than she was.
I don't think she was completely naked. I was just waiting for Chucky to peek his head out from around the shower stall.
Yeah, that's so true. Whew.
But the highlight for me in Iowa was stopping at the world's largest truck stop, I-80, on I-80 in Iowa. What were your thoughts on the world's largest truck stop?
Well, it's already the world's largest truck stop, but yet they are adding on to it, which I think is amazing because this thing is huge and it has like multiple levels and a lunch buffet and 4 different, it was almost like a mall. It was crazy. Do you want me to talk about what I left at the world's largest truck stop? Okay, never mind.
No, I don't think we need to talk about that. I will give them the brassy broad nod to the fabulous Orange Julius that I had because sometimes nothing hits the spot like a good old school, normal flavor Orange Julius.
I've never understood your love of Orange Julius. I think it's a generational thing, being that I'm 10 years older than you are. It was, probably something popular when you were in junior high and high school. And that's when I was in college. So I refined my taste a little bit more and moved on to, like slushy margaritas.
You mean when you were in college refining your taste at Ball State in Muncie?
Drinking Boone's Farm Country Quencher. Yes, that's what I'm referring to.
That is a very, very refined taste.
Absolutely.
Okay. And then from I-80 truck stop, home sweet home. Why don't you tell us how the cat greeted us?
Oh my God. The cat was so pissed off. So she's not the world's most social cat anyway. And we get home and of course Ruby does the butt whack. I mean, her whole back end gets going and she was thrilled and we were thrilled to see her. And also she's doing fine. Thank you, everyone. It must have just been some weird anomaly. Anomaly. There we go.
Thesaurus. See, I can say it now.
You've been practicing. I've heard you in your sleep. But Ruby was very happy to see us. The cat, on the other hand, stayed under the bed for, I don't know, good hour and a half. You tried to get her out. And finally, her favorite mama, me, laid down on the floor next to the bed and coaxed her out. And then she would not let us out of her sight. I mean, she You know what? She has slept with us every night since we've been home. And last night, since I was up till 3 o'clock playing that stupid golf game that I play on my phone, she was laying on your side of the bed.
Kitty loves
Kitty
me.
loves you, but I'm still her favorite mama.
You are. And how many loads of laundry and how quickly did you start that from the point when we walked in the door?
The washing machine was probably running within 5 minutes of us hitting the door. And then the cleaning commenced the following day. And the house hadn't had a good clean for quite some time. So I'm going to guess I spent approximately 5 to 6 hours cleaning the house from top to bottom. We are open for guests. As a matter of fact, we are having guests tonight. So I'm excited to see my best friend of 50 years, Robin. But it was a good cleaning. I needed to nest. I needed to get back into my routine.
And I just let you do that.
You were fine with that.
Yes, because I was catching up on podcast production for clients. It's great to go away, but it is great to come home and get caught up and feel productive.
And can I just mention, for those folks who are thinking about traveling and RV travels and whatnot, please make sure if you are dependent on the internet as you are to do your job that you do very, very well, you have to have reliable internet. And that's, one of the top things you're going to want to look for when you're traveling if you need the internet.
Yes, I agree. I will make sure I am more diligent with that next time. But that is the beauty of this podcast and this wonderful experimentation of the Brassy Roadcast is that, we're like anybody. We're just kind of figuring this whole thing out as we go along and move through life.
Honey, that's how we roll generally. I just have one question for you.
What's that?
Do you want to have an RV of our own?
Oh, I don't know if I'm a very good RVer because I was actually paying a lot more attention on this trip than I had on previous trips in the RV with my parents. I just kind of sat back and let them do their thing. But because this is something that Beth and I have really had a lot of conversations about, and we've gone out to look at RVs and gone to, RV shows with my mom and dad and really put some thought into it, there's a lot that goes into just, connecting to the water and getting the electricity hooked up. And then as you're driving down the road, making sure that you don't hit any potholes or bumps or curbs. And not that I will be driving. I think we've determined that. But, weather, I'd never paid that much attention to the weather. But when you're driving through Nebraska and Iowa and it's super flat, you kind of need to be aware of the weather and what's going on because that can also have a big impact on where you're going to stop and spend the night and, making sure that you are trying to get into that place before it gets dark. And there's just a lot more to think about than I had thought about previously.
Well, when you think about vacations, you think about relaxing and no stress. And, I think we've been on enough trips with your mom and dad now to see how they work their ass off, when they travel in the RV. And they were very gracious to have us go along all the times that we've gone with them. And, this was a new RV. So this added, I think, to some of the stress of if something wasn't working right or, it was just a new thing for them. So it did make us stop and think, is this the life that we want? Or, I think we talked before about how much we're enjoying these Airbnbs because we've really stayed at some unique ones and interesting ones. So I told Jen on the way home, I think we just have to do that pro and con list and sit down and try to figure out, from an economic standpoint, which is going to be the most reasonable. I won't say cheap, even though I am, but the reasonable way to vacation to make sure we have complete enjoyment. And, my biggest thing with the RV has always been that we could have our dog with us, not the crazy cat. She can stay under the bed, but, have our dog with us.
You know what scared me the most about the RV is I was always afraid that, God forbid, I would have something that got stuck when they were trying to move the slides in. The slides kind of freak me out.
Really?
Yeah, it's one of those
stuck, like your shoe laying there or something, or that it was going to get crushed.
Yeah, that like I would just not be watching carefully, and my bag would be there, or a random runaway shoe or something. I'm just paranoid about the slides, even though I have to say this RV with its three slides?
3 slides, yeah.
Oh my gosh, you can practically have a square dance in this
Mhm.
new RV. And that is pretty sweet. So I think that I can get over my fear and nervousness around the slides to enjoy that extra space.
You know, I'm smiling because your fear of the slides makes me think of that unfortunate accordion accident you had. You probably don't wanna talk about that. But I understand your fear. I mean, I think there's some rationale there based on that performance.
Thank you. Thank you for your compassion and your empathy and your understanding of my fear of the slides. You're just going to giggle now, aren't you?
Yeah, because I just had quite a memory there.
Has this gone off the track like the night that I let you hold the microphone and interview my parents?
Yes. No, not to that degree, because I'll tell you, I could not get it together that night. And I want to just, publicly apologize to you because I don't take this as a joke at all. I mean, I hope we're funny and I hope people enjoy it, but you know, podcasting is a serious thing for you. I mean, it's your livelihood, and I didn't mean any disrespect, but I don't ever want to hold that mic again.
Are you sure? Because I'll put it in your hands right now.
No, nope. Thanks.
But I think we need to have my mom and dad back on the podcast because you've got a back seat, so we could fit them in here.
Yes, they could fit there.
So friends, stay tuned. We are going to wrap up this episode and this little mini series of the Great Yellowstone RV Adventure. You're going to hear more from Beth Kindig now that she's a podcasting celebrity. So I just want to doff my cap that I'm not wearing right now to her.
See? It's a good phrase. See?
It's permanently ingrained into my vocabulary now. Friends, it's time to pack it up and start planning our next Brassy Roadcast. Thanks for riding along with us. You can follow our adventures on Instagram and Twitter at BrassyBroadJen. And if you know someone that would enjoy our shenanigans, please press the share button. Thanks for listening. Now get out and explore the world around you.